hold it up here in the corner. And I like to, if possible, I like to nail it to the wall. And don't really need to nail it to the roof. That's just a nail hole that could potentially leak in the future. If this were a real masonry fireplace, you'd have to use some type of masonry anchor here. The ones with the small drive-in pins on them work real well. Now for the sidewall, we want to go up along the side of this chimney with step flashing. And you install a piece of step flashing with each course of shingles. For years we used these 5x7 step flashings that have a 2.5 inch flange along the roof and a 2.5 inch flange up the side of the wall. I really never use them anymore. Basically the same concept, but we like to use these 8x8 step flashings, which gives us 4 inches out and 4 inches up the wall. One of the things that can happen with your base flashing is you can get water damming, or water can kind of boil up or run backwards and get up over the top of these wall flanges. So by using the 4-inch step flashing shingle, you've got more protection for that. Sometimes the gutter installer will stick a downspout and an elbow right here on this corner. You'll have leaves and snow and ice build up, and before long a hard rain can kind of boil up and get over the top of your base flashing. So that's the big improvement using the larger piece of step flashing. So with that in mind, I'm going to take a piece of, this is house wrap sealing tape. It's used commonly with house wrap to seal around windows when you put house wrap on a house. I like this stuff. I'm gonna put a piece right here before we put the next step shingle on, and I'm gonna put that right on and right on around the corner here, and that's gonna effectively raise the flange on that corner shingle. And then we're ready to install our first piece of step flashing here. A lot of times I'll put that on the wall and kind of mark this corner for the slope of the wall. And on a masonry chimney, a lot of times I'll put one nail right in the top corner like that. If you're working on a wood frame wall, you can easily just shoot it onto the wall here. And then we're ready for our next shingle. Now I don't like to nail too close to the wall. The same principle you use with a valve. You want to stay away with your nails. I don't like getting nails any closer to 6 inches. A lot of times in this situation, I like to put a nail up here at the top to hold it in place. Now after we put the shingle on there, we can put our next piece of step flashing on there. I like to put the bottom of it up, just up high enough so the next shingle is going to cover it. And I'll nail it in the top corner here. Now sometimes this wall on our demonstration is kind of a small wall. Sometimes you'll get some pretty big walls on a 2-story wall on a roof that we have to roof around. You don't want to use a continuous piece of flashing like this and just bring your shingles over there and stop. The problem with that is water's trying to run laterally underneath those shingles. You can try and seal under them with roof cement, but if the corners of the shingles catch some water and shoot it back, or if your roof cement cracks, you can get water going laterally back under your roof shingles. That's the advantage to step flashing. Each course the water's forced out on top of the shingles. If it runs laterally, it's going to be out on top of the shingles. If water runs laterally here and starts at the top, before long it's back underneath your shingles. So that's the advantage to using the step flashing with each course of shingles. We're ready for the next shingle, and we're just going to basically keep this up along the side of the roof. Sometimes I kind of underbend these a little bit when I put them on. That helps hold pressure so that both flanges stay flat against the roof and against the wall. Another shingle. And another shingle. put the bottom of this where I wanted it, and this top wall flange is sticking by our top corner a little bit, so I'm going to notch that off there. Okay, we're ready for our next shingle, and the way I had these started, you're going to run into this when we come across the roof. A full shingle is going to come out right here with the splice close to your wall, and